is BBC Radio 6 Music.
6 Music.
Radcliffe and McConney.
BBC Radio
6 Music.
Scream if you want to go faster.
It's a good version, that. I like it nearly as much as the original by Vic Reeves.
Okay. International Bright Young Thing by Jesus Jones. That was then. But coming bang up to date, this is now. Mike Edwards joins us. Hello, Mike.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Well, you're in Exeter. That's your manor these days, is it?
Yeah, very recently, yes. I've been down here for about 2 months.
Right. How
Enjoying
you
it?
like, yeah.
Yeah, fabulous. Yeah, really loving it.
Yeah. What does that? What do you feel when you hear that? Can you see yourself singing it in the studio or throwing yourself around on stage, or what does it conjure up?
Actually, the thing that occurred to me is that's my rehearsal for the day done, because I'm listening to the words thinking, yeah, that's how they go. Good. So when we do these gigs in a short while,
yeah,
I now remember. I don't really. That is a quarter of a century ago, so I love the irony of the title.
Wow.
So it's I can't. I actually, probably like most people, what I remember is the video. I don't remember anything else to do with that.
Right.
That sounds very much like David Bowie, doesn't it? You know, like he was so out of his mind on drugs, he can't remember doing anything in the 1970s. That's not the case. It's just time. That's all it is.
Right.
Just the sheer passage of time. I'm not saying you're back because you've never been away, really, have you?
Yeah, we just kind of dropped out of sight, really. But we never broke up. We never made an active decision to stop. It's just things just didn't come in the way that they used to. But yeah, we've kept going. But we're a little bit more focused about it these days.
But it is that the lineup on that record is the lineup of Jesus Jones now. I think there've been very few changes, isn't it? Just you've had a couple of drummers.
Yeah, just the one. We had Tony join the band for a while. Tony's now the drummer for the Wonder Stuff.
Oh, right, yeah.
So we kind of keep it within the family, sort of.
Yes.
But yeah, no, our original drummer, Jen, has been back for a while now. So yeah, it's exactly the same lineup as it was 1988.
Amazing.
Absolutely, yeah. And that, presumably, unlike many other bands then, you've stayed on fairly cordial terms.
We all hate each other's guts. It's just the money that keeps us together. No.
So what has kept it going then? I mean, you say the offers didn't come in, but did you just kind of go away, do separate things, and just, I don't know, because you never fell out, you just sort of thought, well, we won't officially split up?
Unfortunately, you've kind of answered that in full form.
That's very poor. That's very poor interviewing then, isn't it?
Yeah, that is basically it. You know, there weren't many reasons to do stuff together, but any time a reason came up, and these days reasons come at kind of really short notice, and they're really kind of strange things. Like someone says, in 2 months' time, do you fancy doing a tour of Australia? So off we go to Australia in 8 weeks' time.
Yeah. You did this, yeah. You did. Didn't you bill it as the smallest ever world tour? With something, was it 3 dates in Australia and a date in Japan? Was it?
Yeah, that must have been about 5 years ago. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's like the British tours that we do that consist of 1 date in each country apart from Wales.
You wrote. And I've just been trying to find it again online, mate, but I can't find it. I'm sure I could have at the moment more. You wrote a very funny and very interesting piece. I think it was in Word magazine about playing at some kind of conventions in the US, where, of course, you were massive. You had a #1 in America, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with Right Here, Right Now.
Right Here. Yeah. Yes. So presumably you are. Your name evokes quite a lot still to this day over there.
Apparently so. Our bass player lives in Chicago, and
right.
He's kind of constantly tortured by the fact that he gets in his car, turns the radio on, and that damn song is playing again.
Well, I mean, I imagine tempering the torture is the fact of thinking, oh, that's a nice little learner, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that calms him down somewhat.
But didn't you play at some? It was some kind of convention. You wrote a piece that was really insightful and funny about it, but I can't recall. Was that for Word magazine?
I think it was something like The Observer.
Right.
It was one of those kind of Sunday magazines. But yeah, we had these offers come in where you just go and some big corporation in America is having a convention. There's 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people, and they want a band to come and play a song that everybody knows.
Right.
So they invite you over to. I think we went to Florida on one occasion, and somewhere in the Plain States on another. But you go to Florida for a week. They put you up in a really nice hotel. You get to do 3 minutes work.
Wow.
I wouldn't say staying on stage playing a guitar is much in the way of work, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
And then they give you a decent sum of money and say thanks very much. So it was brilliant.
It sounds absolutely brilliant.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Sounds like a drink. Yeah.
We're still available, by the way. Can I just put that in there?
Well, yeah. Let's hear your first new material in 15 years. Is that correct?
That's probably the case. Yeah.
Wow.
So, how do you approach writing? Have you got loads of songs? Have you been writing constantly? You have a huge backlog of classics to pick from, or was it tortuous getting back to the writing process again?
No, it's fits and starts. So I have little bits kind of left over, but it's really only in the last, I'd say, 6 to 12 months I've thought, right, I really need to start doing some proper writing and a good kind of spell of it. So I'm actually focused on doing an album. Albums may be a thing of the past, but it's kind of helpful as a goal for me to focus on. And
absolutely.
This is a limited edition vinyl EP, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So JesusJones.com has this information and more. Here is how's this even going down?
Well, I know what this looks like, but I sold that motorbike. And you know, sweet 19, we should be over chasing dreams, chasing dreams, chasing dreams. Were there more of those than it seemed? Despite the things that we know, put your foot down on the ground. How's this even going down? How's this even going down? Check me out now, I'm wise and old. Get a load of that self-control. I just love all my rules and codes. What a shame when they start to erode. So where's my road? Which is my road? Without a compass, where do I go?
So there's 150 in clear and blue vinyl and 350 in clear and purple vinyl, Mike, apparently. Is that right?
I haven't counted them all. I'll just have to take your word for it.
Apparently, limited edition 500 EPs available from JesusJones.com.
And of course, once the vinyl's out, you can download it. That is the first new material from Jesus Jones. Mike Edwards is with us in 15 years. How's this even going down? A song that, if I've understood any of the lyrics at all, Mike, or caught them, sort of concerns kind of the passage of time and looking back from a position of wisdom.
Or not. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think I'm kind of thinking, well, we've got to this age, which is pretty good going.
Yeah.
You know, if this year is anything to go by.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in the entertainment business, you've got to keep your head down at the moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, it's a good thing. I'm kind of very grateful, really, for having got this far.
We were thinking that your voice sounded, if anything, better.
Yeah.
I mean, we wondered whether is it cleaner living these days? Were you smoking loads of tabs back then, and now you're a clean living man of a certain age?
No, I'm afraid I was always really boring. I was always the clean living one in the band. Yeah, I like to delegate these things. The hard living I put out to other members of the band. They did a good job of it too.
Right, okay. When you formed Jesus Jones, I mean, were you kind of schoolmates who had a band, but then you sort of just got exposed to the whole dance and techno culture? Because you seem to fuse the two.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty much it. I mean, I was talking about our original drummer, Jen, who's back with us. He and I were at school together from the ages of about 14, and then the rest of the band just kind of snowballed. And as we got kind of different members of the band in and time moved on, there were different things that interested me in music, and really it was that kind of late 80s point when acid house cropped up and all the hip-hop stuff was going on at that point anyway, Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, that kind of thing. And having always been a guitar band, I just kind of thought, this it really appeals to me, the idea of putting all this stuff together. That would be an exciting thing to do.
And that's how you found yourself at the forefront of the movement called variously baggy or indie dance. Those are the terms that were bandied about back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's more because of the bands that came after us kind of either actively courted that description or, they were part of that. I never really saw us as being part of that. We were there before it. I felt much more in common, if not musically, with the likes of the Shaman and Pop Will Eat Itself.
Right, yes.
Bands. We were doing similar kind of things, and there's no way that I think you'd refer to those bands as baggy.
Did any of you have to get proper jobs in the intervening years?
Yes, I think various things have been done.
Have you done something?
Yeah. I've kind of done bits and pieces, really just to kind of distract me from thinking, I really should write that album.
Right. SXTC, I'm not quite sure this person's Twitter handle, says, that's why I heard Right Here, Right Now in a mall in a small Arizona town. Indeed, it was a #1 single on the Billboard chart. Yeah.
So what are you up to then? You're playing at the Horn in St Albans. I think that's just over a week away, isn't it? And then the bank holiday weekend, you're doing this indie all-dayer in Manchester.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's Friday the 27th for St Albans, Saturday the 28th for the indie all-dayer. It's a venue actually we know pretty well. I think the last time we were in Manchester, we played there. So I don't know why I say we know it well. So we should actually be able to get into it this time. Right? We know where the toilets are. We can advise people as they come in. Second on the left.
A bit of stewarding as well as a pig. And then Chinnery's in Southend, and then Amanda in Twyford says Jesus Jones are playing Twyfest on June the 4th. It's sold out, but we'll be there. So I'm very excited about it.
It was sold out. That's fantastic. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and if you check JesusJones.com, you'll see where all these dates are, because then there's a whole slew more in the autumn, including the fabulous Trades Club at Hebden Bridge.
Yes, indeed.
Which is a great place to play.
Yeah.
And the slightly less fashionable Hoxton Bar and Grill, London.
Well, you've got to try and keep all bases covered, haven't you? So it's all systems go again for everyone, is it, Mike?
It seems that way, yeah.
Good.
Unless the Grim Reaper gets one of us in between here and November.
Let's hope not.
And so you say you've been writing an album, so is there a full album to follow relatively soon, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically why those dates are there in November, so it scares the hell out of me to get the album done in time. So, yeah, I've got about 3 months to really get it together and knock this thing out.
Right.
Well, the best of luck with that, and clearly a great many people get in touch with us with huge affection to know that, well, you're not back, but you've sort of stepped into the limelight once again. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Great.
Yeah. All right, Mike, lovely
Thanks,
talk.
Mike.
What's it like in Exeter today? Is it pleasant?
Yeah, it is. Yes, it's a fabulous sunny day, and I can't really make that any more interesting than that.
No, fair enough. No, that's all right. Yeah. Are you a surf dude while you're down in that part of the world? Or?
No. It's always cycling for me, being blown across Dartmoor.
Lovely.
Right. Okay.
Lovely. Worst thing to do, yeah. Lovely to speak to you, Mike.
And you, thanks very much.
Take care. Bye.
Cheers, bye.
This is BBC Radio 6 Music.